Hi, I'm Matt Play with Pioneer DJ, and I'm here at Sweetwater to show off the brand new OPUS-QUAD.
Let's go.
This is a professional all-in-one DJ system that has true 4-deck playback, meaning from a single music source, completely standalone without a laptop, you can control all 4 channels of this mixer and play 4 different music sources. So with this product, our engineers and product planners really decided to think outside of the box from the traditional sort of design on most of our DJ products and try to really put an emphasis in design and create a product that is just going to look beautiful in high-end mobile DJ environments where aesthetics are really important. An emphasis was also put into sound quality. It utilizes ESS technology, 32-bit digital to analog converters, so that the sound is less fatiguing over periods of time. So this is a true 4-deck standalone product, meaning from a single music source you can play up to 4 tracks at once, and you can utilize all 4 channels on the mixer. The OPUS-QUAD has multiple inputs for audio sources, starting with 2 USB ports at the top. You have 2 USB Type A ports that can be used to connect flash drives, and you can play music from those ports as well as record your mix to those ports. Also, on the back, there is a USB Type 3 port that is great for connecting large SSD hard drives with large music collections, such as I have connected here. There is also an Ethernet port that allows you to connect to rekordbox export. There is also a USB Type C port that allows you to connect software. And DJs will be excited to know that this is compatible with rekordbox performance mode, and coming in summer 2023 is also going to be compatibility for Serato. So this thing also has built-in Wi-Fi on board, so you can connect to a Wi-Fi network, and it works with rekordbox Cloud Direct Play. And it also has Bluetooth connectivity, so you can easily connect mobile devices. The OPUS-QUAD also utilizes Device Library Plus, that is a new thing in rekordbox, so that you can export a new library format specific for the OPUS-QUAD. This new format is laying the groundwork for future standalone devices while also providing very fast browsing, navigating, searching, and filtering of large music libraries. And navigating these huge libraries is super fast and super efficient on the new 10.1-inch electrostatic display here. Everything is extremely snappy. Browsing, you also have access to search with a QWERTY keyboard, and just as you type, it just filters down your collection to what matches your criteria. There also is the ability to navigate quickly through large playlists by just tapping the smart rotary down and up to navigate by pages, and you can also scroll through. And the smart rotary also works to the left and right. If you're in the browser and you touch the rotary to the left, it's going to start previewing the music in your headphones from the beginning of the track, and if you press the smart rotary to the right, it is going to start the preview from the middle of the track. You can also scrub the waveform just right here on the screen. So if you touch the waveform and then slide your finger down, you can see the playhead, so you can see exactly the point at which you are scrubbing. And this is a really nice improvement. It's something that we've introduced on the CDJ 3000, and it saves you from having to load a record to a deck and fast forward through it and see if it's the track that you want to play or not. If you change your mind, you then have to go select a new track, and it's just a super time-saving feature to just be able to preview your music directly from the browser, even if the unit is playing out 4 decks at the same time. So focusing on the screen here, when you connect your drive, you're going to go to your source. Here you're going to see whatever sources you have connected to the unit. I have just a single drive connected to the unit, but inside of rekordbox, I have authenticated this drive to also be a key to log into my cloud library. So rekordbox Cloud Library is a great feature to allow you to work on your music collection from multiple different devices, and the changes that you make synchronize between all of those devices. And not only does it keep your music and everything backed up so that you don't have to worry about data loss, but when you have internet connection on our products, you also can have access to your entire music library that you have set up in rekordbox Cloud. So if I have only exported, say, a couple playlists to my drive, but I also have authenticated that drive to log into my cloud, I then have two different sources I can choose from by just connecting this single drive. So I can navigate into the physical hard drive, or I can navigate into my Rekordbox cloud library. And this is all pulling from the internet now. So if I go through and load a track, it's going to download the entire track to the player in real time, and the entire track is ready to be played. Even if there was like an internet dropout, the entire track has been buffered to the unit, so you don't have to worry about a track stopping on you. So the cloud library is really starting to come to life with these new products that can connect to the internet. But moving on from that, you have the Browse button here, which will quickly take you straight into your browser. And then along the side, you have different sections to choose from. This can be customized inside of Rekordbox. I've actually customized this in the order that I would like these options to show up. So for instance, I've got playlist at the top. In Rekordbox, you can set your colors to the tracks. I like to set color to music depending on the vibe of the track, so I can access different colors here, which is essentially filtering my music collection by the vibe or energy level. I also use star rating a lot. If I really like a track, I'll give it 4 or 5 stars. So between filtering by color and star rating, you can navigate to your tracks very quickly. And when you are on the full browse screen, you can move through quickly. You have your waveform preview is always visible, and your BPM and key is always visible, but you also have this other column that allows you to sort your list by any options that you choose. This is also customizable within Rekordbox. I have customized this for the options that I like to sort my library with. For instance, I've put at the very top date added so that I can easily filter my music by the newest tracks. And also you'll notice that some of these tracks, as I scroll through here, are lighting up green. And that's a feature called traffic light, and essentially what that is doing is showing me tracks that are harmonic with the track that is currently loaded on the master deck. So right there at a glance, I can easily choose harmonic tracks. And even if a track is not harmonic, the OPUS-QUAD does have the new Keysync feature, which can move the track as few semitones as necessary to get it within a harmonic range. And also on the touchscreen here is the track filter. This is a super powerful feature. It's on the CDJ 3000s. It's built into Rekordbox. But let's say you're looking at a huge playlist of music and you want to filter that music down by criteria that you are searching for. You can set your BPM and then set the plus and minus of the percentage of the BPMs that you want to include around the BPM that you've selected. You can select the key you're looking for, the star ratings of music that you're looking for, the color coding of music that you're looking for, and then the very powerful thing is the second page that is called the My Tag library that allows you to filter your music down based on tags that you have created. So for instance, if I wanted to, I could say that I'm looking for hip-hop, pop, or R&B that came out in the 90s that has female vocal, just as an example, and I could filter my entire collection down to tracks that I have set those tags to. So it saves you from having to memorize the artist and titles of all your different tracks. Just a little bit of management with your music helps you find tracks that you wouldn't have thought of on the fly. You can set a few filters and you're presented with a list of tracks, and a lot of times you'll be like, oh, this track, I completely forgot about it and it's perfect for this moment. So the track filter is super useful. And the new Device Library Plus and the speed of the processing on this unit is just super fast to utilize all of these functions. Also built into the touchscreen is your I/O essentially. So if I want to set channel 1 to be the line input instead of the built-in Deck 3 input, I could, or I could also choose the phono input if I wanted to connect a turntable, or if I wanted to bring Bluetooth in on this channel, I can as well. Also, all 4 of the channels give you the option to assign the crossfader. I currently have the crossfader turned off on all 4 channels. And then there's also your mic control built into the screen here. This thing is really powerful when it comes to mics. Normally the second microphone on a unit is slightly compromised from the first microphone, but that's not the case with this unit. Both microphones have the same feature set. On the back of the unit you have a combo jack for your mic 1, and you have a 3-band EQ on the top of the unit here, and you have talk over. And also on the front of the unit also have a combo jack input for your mic 2. It also has talk over. It also has a 3-band EQ. And then built in here on the touchscreen, you can turn off or turn on feedback reducer that has 2 settings, heavy and light. So if you're working an event where you need to hand off the microphone to somebody to give a speech, and you're concerned about them stepping in front of the speakers and creating feedback, the OPUS-QUAD has features set in place to help prevent that from happening. Okay, and moving down to the mixer section here, it's really familiar in a lot of ways, but it also has slightly changed. The beat effects section can function like you're normally used to with a lot of our products, but the beat effects selector knob has been changed to a knob that has a really firm resistance, and as you scroll through the beat effects, you'll get the list of effects right here on the screen, so you can choose between the different beat effects. You can also auto detect the BPM or tap the BPM in. You can adjust the timing of the effect with the left-right arrows here, and you also have a dedicated time knob for really intricate adjustments. You have your on-off button and your level depth here, like most people are used to, but what I really love is the new integration into the touchscreen that now gives you an XY pad to control all of these different effects. So the XY pad will give you the whichever effect you currently have selected, but will also apply a high-pass filter and low-pass filter to it. So as you move your finger, you're applying the effect in different timings, but as you move up or down, you're applying a high-pass filter or a low-pass filter. And assigning which channel you're going to send the beat effects to is very easy, because those buttons are also right here on the touchscreen as well. So if I want to assign to channel 4, if I want to assign to the master, or if I want to assign to channel 2. Plus the beat effects now have an effects bank on the right side where you can set your 4 favorite effects right there, so you don't have to always scroll through to select your effect. And I'll just delete an effect right here to show you how easy it is to assign. If I scroll through and select vinyl break and then I tap it, I've now assigned vinyl break to that slot. But I'll do a quick demo of the echo and the sound of it with the high pass filter here. So the new implementation of the beat effects in the touchscreen is really handy, it's very useful, and it's very responsive. Also, there is 6 sound color effects that are built into the 4 channels here. So you have a knob on all 4 channels where off is at 12 o'clock, and there's a notch right there. You can choose between space, dub echo, crush, sweep, noise, and filter. And when you turn it to the right, you will get one effect, and when you turn it to the left, you will get a different variation of that same effect. And there is a dedicated parameter knob as well for the sound color effects. So whichever effect you have selected, this parameter knob will control a parameter of that effect. So for instance, if I have it set to noise right now, if I can pitch up or pitch down a noise effect, but the parameter knob would be the volume for that noise. So And the sound color effects are the same sound color effects you'll see on a lot of our models, starting from the top with the new DJM A9. It's become pretty much an industry standard to have these sound color effects built in on all your channels. As far as headphone cueing, the master signal is always going to be coming through the headphones. On a lot of our products, you would have to choose the master to cue the master to the headphones. But on this unit, the master signal is always coming to the headphones. If you don't want the master signal, you can turn this blend knob all the way to the cue channel, and then you would only hear whichever channels you have selected to cue in the headphones with the cue buttons here, and then you also have a level adjustment for your headphones as well. There's a lot of settings for the mixer that are in a utility that you can access. You can see here there's quite a bit of stuff to set up, but the most important stuff that you would want to get to is built into the shortcut button here. And I have access to a lot of things that you might want to change on the fly. For instance, if I want the time mode to show elapsed time or time remaining, my quantize value, if I want my button presses to be snapping to the beat, I can select anywhere from 1 beat down to 8 beat or 1/8 beat. And you also can assign colors to the decks here. So I mentioned before that this is a true 4-deck controller. So right now this left deck is controlling deck 1, but if I press this button it controls deck 3. And you can see that because deck 3 is now lit up in white. If I wanted to change deck 3 to light up in red, in the shortcut menu here I could select deck 3 and choose for it to show up as red. But I'll set that back to white, and on both decks you can quickly switch between 1, 2, 3, and 4, so you can quickly do 4-deck mixing. You also have quick access to the brightness of the display and brightness of the deck displays. And speaking of the deck display, on each deck you have a little screen here. A lot of our products have had the high-res screen built into the platter, but it was a bit difficult to fit a lot of information into a small circle. So with this unit, they've brought that out to a slightly larger screen, and you always have an overview of what is playing currently on that deck. You also have a second page in the shortcut menu that will give you access to quick mixer and recording functions, like if I want to adjust the fader curves of the channel faders, the crossfader curves, and the preview settings, as well as some mic settings. And down here you'll see there's also some zone settings. Mobile DJs will be really excited to know about the zone feature built into this. Not only do you have your master output for your master signal, but you also have a zone output so that you can play music from another source, or you can play different music in another room. So for instance, if you are DJing for a dance floor, but you also have cocktail hour going on in another room, you could, for instance, Bluetooth a mobile device to one of the channels, and then you could send that channel out the additional zone, so you're effectively playing for 2 different rooms at the same time. And over here on the left of the unit you have a dedicated volume control for that zone output as well. But all your settings for your zone is found right here within the shortcut menu as well. The OPUS-QUAD has also inherited the 8 hot cues above the platter that became popular on our CDJ 3000s. We made that decision because a lot of the industry standard product over the years, if you think of the turntables of the past, CDJs of the past, they've been free of a lot of clutter between you and the platter. And as well as when you're accessing performance features and looking at your track information, it's nice to be able to work the hot cues and these performance features and have everything right here in your field of view. So with the 8 hot cues above here and the beat effects, I can trigger hot cues and work the beat effects on screen at the same time without having to look all over the unit. And another new feature on this unit is called Smart Cue. Typically the current cue is completely separate from the hot cue, but now there's a new feature that allows you to override the current cue with whichever hot cue you have triggered. So I'm going to trigger the hot cue B here, which is blue, and you'll see that the cue point here also changes to blue. The hot cue is always hot, meaning when you trigger it, it's going to play, but the current cue is gated, which a lot of people will be happy to hear. So it only plays as you hold the button down. And that can be useful for some other performance features as well. And also another really popular feature that we introduced on the DJM S11 and was also on the DDJ Rev 7 is a feature called Smooth Echo. This has Smooth Echo and it's implemented in a really nice way. So you have a dedicated volume knob for your level of your Smooth Echo, and you have an on-off switch for turning it on or off. And if you press and hold the on-off button, you get the menu for it, and you can pick and choose what do you want to actually trigger the Smooth Echo. And Smooth Echo essentially is an echo that automatically gets activated with particular movements on the controller. So you can get an echo when you're triggering your hot cues or when you're triggering the cue. When you load a track, it could echo out the track that you've unloaded. And it's also on the crossfader and your up fader. And you can choose the number of beats and also the number of beats to be triggered by the crossfader. So with Smooth Echo off, you're not hearing any echo as I do that movement there. But when I turn on Smooth Echo, also works on the up faders. So without having to trigger the beat effects, you get an echo just by manipulating the faders. So thank you for watching today. If you have any questions about the Pioneer DJ OPUS-QUAD, go to sweetwater.com or contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.